Did you know? Comets smell like rotten eggs. In 2014, the European Space Agency's Rosetta spacecraft studied Comet 67P/Churyumov-Gerasimenko. Its instruments detected a mix of gases including hydrogen sulfide, H2S, smells like rotten eggs, ammonia, NH3, pungent like strong urine cleaning products, formaldehyde, sharp irritating odor, hydrogen cyanide, bitter, almond-like smell, but extremely poisonous. Along with these, there were also molecules like carbon dioxide and water vapor which don't smell. Space is a vacuum, so smells don't travel as they do on Earth. You couldn't actually sniff a comet in space without dying first. What scientists mean by comet smell is the collection of volatile chemicals found in the comet's coma, the gas cloud around it, when measured by instruments. Did you know? Chick can breathe through their eggshell. An eggshell isn't a solid wall, it's got 6,000 to 10,000 tiny pores. Think of them as microscopic windows. Through these pores, oxygen sneaks into the egg. Carbon dioxide slips back out through the pores. Water vapor also slips out, balancing moisture inside. Inside, a special membrane lines the shell surface. It's packed with tiny blood vessels carrying oxygen. These act like mini lungs for the developing chick. This clever system keeps the embryo alive for 21 days, until it's ready to hatch and meet the world. In the final stretch, the chick uses its egg tooth. That tiny egg tooth is a little beak bump. It breaks into the air cell and takes its first breath. If those pores get blocked, the chick can suffocate. So next time you see an egg, remember, there's a whole secret life and a breath of fresh air inside. Did you know? Children's fingerprints disappear from surfaces faster than adults. Adults have oilier skin. We're constantly leaving behind a sticky trail of sweat and oils that mix with dust, making our fingerprints extra clingy. Kids, on the other hand, have drier skin and less of that sticky stuff, so their prints are lighter and fade away fast. Touch a shiny surface like glass metal and you'll see, an adult's print might stick around, but a child's is out of there in no time. That's why forensic experts find it trickier to catch those tiny fingerprints. There's just less material to stick to the crime scene. But here's a cool twist. The patterns on your fingers? They're set before you're even born, and they never change. It's just the chemistry that changes as we grow. Did you know? The idea that vampires don't reflect in mirrors is closely tied to the fact that old mirrors were backed with silver. For centuries, mirrors were made by coating glass with a thin layer of polished silver. In folklore, silver is thought to be a pure metal, with the power to ward off evil, repel witches, werewolves, and demons. Since vampires are considered unholy or soulless, the silver supposedly prevents their reflection from appearing. Another common explanation is symbolic. Vampires were believed to lack a soul. Since mirrors were thought to reflect not just the body but the soul, vampires had nothing to show. This idea became popular in 19th century vampire fiction, especially in Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1897, where Jonathan Harker notices that Count Dracula has no reflection. Earlier vampire legends didn't mention mirrors at all. The mirror weakness is more of a literary invention that stuck. Did you know? Horses cannot vomit. Here's why. Horses have a very strong lower esophageal sphincter, the valve between the esophagus and stomach. In most animals, this valve can relax to let food or stomach contents move upward, but in horses it's so strong in one way that it almost never allows anything to come back up. The esophagus enters the stomach at a steep angle in horses, making backward flow nearly impossible. A horse's stomach is relatively small compared to its body size and can rupture if it becomes too full, because the contents can't be relieved by vomiting. Horses are prey animals, built to eat small amounts of forage almost constantly. Their digestive system evolved for grazing, not for occasional large meals, so vomiting wasn't necessary for survival. Because they can't vomit, horses are more prone to dangerous digestive issues like colic, severe abdominal pain. If gas or feed gets trapped, the inability to vomit means pressure builds up, which can quickly become life-threatening. Did you know? You can't move your body when you're dreaming. Here's why. Most of your wildest, most vivid dreams happen during REM sleep. REM stands for Rapid Eye Movement Sleep. In this stage, your brain is buzzing with activity, almost as if you're awake. But here's the plot twist. Your brain sends out signals. They cause REM atonia, a fancy term for temporary paralysis. Your arms go still, your legs go still, your body goes still, so you don't act out your dreams. Only your eyes dart around, your heart keeps beating, and you keep breathing. Sometimes this system glitches, leading to sleep paralysis, or people moving in their sleep. So next time you wake up from a strange dream, remember, Your body's lockdown is just your brain keeping you safe. Did you know? A caterpillar has more muscles than human. A typical caterpillar has about 4,000 muscles in its small body. These muscles control each body segment and allow it to crawl, grip, and move with incredible flexibility. For example, every tiny leg has multiple muscles working together for precise motion. By comparison, humans have around 600 to 650 muscles. Ours are larger, stronger, and specialized for complex movements like running, lifting, and speaking, but far fewer in number. Why so many? Because caterpillars don't have bones. Instead, they rely on their muscles to both move and support their soft, flexible bodies. Each segment must be finely controlled to coordinate the classic inchworm crawling motion. So while humans are stronger overall, caterpillars win in sheer muscle count. Did you know? If you could travel at the speed of light, you would never get older. So can you actually hit the speed of light? Sorry, but if you have any mass at all, like say, human mass, Einstein says you'd need infinite energy. Only light itself gets to play at that speed. Photons get to play at that speed. But here's where it gets fun. The faster you move, the slower time ticks for you. That's called time dilation. Thanks, Einstein. So, if you could rocket away at 99.999% the speed of light, you might experience just 1 year, while everyone on Earth ages thousands. It's the twin paradox. One twin zooms off and comes back younger. The Earth twin becomes an old-timer. But what about light itself? Photons travel the universe for billions of years. For them, no time passes at all. Literally zero aging. Bottom line, if you could hit light speed, time would freeze for you. Did you know? You can buy a piece of meteorite. When meteorites fall to Earth, most end up in deserts, or Antarctica, making them prime hunting grounds for collectors. From tiny space pebbles costing just a few bucks, to rare types selling for thousands per gram. There's a meteorite for every budget. There are 3 main types: iron meteorites, heavy, metallic, and magnetic; stony meteorites, rocky, the most common kind; stony iron meteorites, rare, like natural jewelry with crystals. In most countries, owning a meteorite is legal, but some places have strict laws, so check first. You can find authentic meteorites at science shops, at gem shows, and even online. Watch out for fakes, look for certificates of authenticity. So whether you're a collector, an artist, or just a fan of cool cosmic stuff, remember, you can literally own a piece of the universe. Did you know? Your sense of smell isn't constant throughout the day. It actually runs on a circadian rhythm, just like your sleep. When you first wake up, your nose is kind of in sleep mode. Lower body temperature, sluggish alertness, even your nasal airflow is still stretching and yawning. That's why those breakfast aromas don't hit quite as hard. But as the day heats up, so does your nose, peaking in the late afternoon and evening. Science says that's when you'll notice. Perfumes, dinner, that mystery smell from the fridge. Your brain is more alert to scents at night, maybe an old survival trick from our cave-dwelling days. So don't blame your cooking, your nose just works the night shift. Did you know? Traffic lights were invented before cars. The first ever traffic light popped up in London in 1868, right outside the Houses of Parliament. But get this. It was operated by a police officer who actually moved the signal arms by hand. At night, gas lamps glowed red for stop, green for go, and cars, nowhere in sight. The whole thing was built for horse-drawn carriages, wagons, and yes, even pedestrians. Because Victorian London traffic was already a chaotic mess. Unfortunately, it wasn't a smooth ride. The gas system exploded barely a year later, injuring the poor officer on duty. Fast forward a few decades. Cars finally roll into the picture in the late 1800s, and traffic lights really become a thing in the 20th century. So next time you're stuck at a red light, just remember, you're part of a traffic tradition older than the car itself. Did you know? Doctors still use leeches in modern medicine, though not in the same way as in the Middle Ages. Leech therapy, medicinal leeches, are approved by the FDA since 2004 as a medical device in the US. After surgeries like skin grafts or reattaching fingers, ears, or noses, blood can sometimes flow into the reattached tissue but not drain out well. This causes dangerous swelling and clotting. Leeches help by gently sucking out excess blood, improving circulation until new veins grow. Their saliva contains natural anticoagulants, anesthetics, and vasodilators, which make them surprisingly effective. They can restore blood flow after skin grafts or when fingers, ears, or noses are reattached. In some cases, helping treat arthritis, varicose veins, or cardiovascular issues, though more experimental. So yes, leeches have gone from medieval quackery to a niche but important surgical tool today. Did you know? Giant tortoises were once driven to near extinction. largely because mariners considered them delicious, practically immortal food supplies. Sailors saw them as perfect walking provisions. Able to survive a year without food or water, they were ideal living larders. Their meat was also a delicacy. One visitor called it the most delicious food we had ever tasted. And even Charles Darwin admitted, young tortoises make capital soup. This led to mass harvesting. The population plummeted from 250,000 in the 16th century to just 15,000 by the 1970s. Overhunting and introduced species caused extinctions like that of the Pinta Island tortoise, famously represented by Lonesome George. But there is hope. Since the 1960s, conservation programs have rescued populations through captive breeding. Did you know? Fingernails grow about 3 times faster than toenails. Fingernails average roughly 3 millimeters a month. Toenails crawl along at about 1 millimeter. Why? First, blood flow. Your fingertips get better circulation, bringing more nutrients for growth. Second, usage. You use your hands constantly, gripping, typing, scratching. That mechanical stimulation nudges nails to grow faster. Third, evolution and biology. Faster growing nails helped with fine tasks, and, well, survived our clumsy moments. Other quick facts. Younger people see faster growth. The dominant hand also sees faster growth. Nails speed up in summer thanks to circulation and vitamin D. Good protein plus biotin helps too. Did you know? Astronauts can grow up to about 2-3 inches, about 5-7 centimeters taller in space. On Earth, gravity is always pressing down on us, squishing the soft disks between our spine bones. But in space, with almost no gravity, those disks get to relax and expand. The result? Astronauts can stretch up to 2-3 inches taller during missions. But don't get too excited. When they return to Earth, gravity brings them right back to their normal height in just a few days. Fun twist, NASA must design for this growth spurt. Spacesuits that fit astronauts after stretching in space seats that adjust for extra height and spinal length, so astronauts stay comfy and safe. Next time you wish you were taller, just remember, you might need a rocket. Did you know? You can mount an HDD upside down on its side or flat. Inside of HDD, a precision bearings balance platters spin, and read-write heads float on a thin cushion of air created by that spin. That cushion doesn't care about gravity, so orientation mostly doesn't matter. But a few practical rules once you format and run a drive: try to keep it steady. Constantly flipping it while powered can, in theory, stress the mechanics. Cooling matters more than whether it's sideways. Bad airflow will cook a drive faster than a funky angle ever will. And remember, drops and shocks are the real enemy. Moving parts don't like being slammed. Did you know? Flamingo can eat only when its head is upside down. Flamingos are filter feeders. Their beaks are specially adapted to separate mud, water, and food. To make this work, they need to tilt their head completely upside down while feeding. Inside the beak are comb-like plates called lamellae that trap tiny organisms like algae, shrimp, and plankton. Their large tongue acts like a pump, pushing water in and out so the food gets caught while the water drains away. Why upside down? The shape of the flamingo's beak curves downward. When they flip their head upside down, the top part of the beak functions like a scoop. The lower part becomes the lid, making the filtering system work properly. Did you know? Parachutes were invented before airplanes. Back in 1485, Leonardo da Vinci sketched a pyramid parachute. He claimed you could jump from any height without injury. His design wasn't tested for hundreds of years, but it totally worked when modern folks gave it a try. Fast forward to the year 1617. Croatian inventor Faust Vrancic jumped from a tower in Venice. By the 1780s, we get hot air balloons. Not to be outdone, Frenchman Louis-Sébastien Lenormand made a public parachute jump from a tree. So, when the Wright brothers took flight in 1903, parachutes had already been around for over a century, saving balloonists. Dazzling crowds. Next time you see a parachute, remember, the idea was floating around long before airplanes took off. Like and subscribe for more fun facts.